Right now, a plan to relieve billions in medical debt just got the green light from the feds, who will be getting some much needed help and where it's coming from. Plus, back to school season is here and there's plenty of dates to look out for. What CMS parents should know if your kid rides the bus. And Olympic athletes who place are given more than just a medal. What else is in their gift box? We'll tell you when we connect the dots. Thanks for joining us here for the news at 10. I'm Jane Monreal. We continue to follow today's top stories. First, a check on the weather. A few stray showers this morning, but the clouds are expected to clear up as we take a look at Uptown. Meteorologist Chris Mulcahy joining us now. And we are getting ready for that heat wave you're talking about later this week, Chris.
Ooh, we're going to be sizzling, Jane, but we also have a bigger storm threat for today as well. Yesterday, might have been startled by some of the thunder that was heard yesterday from the storm system. We actually have a weakening bow echo that is now moving into the area, so we are going to anticipate this to weaken over the next couple of hours, seeing some especially heavy rain right around Little River north of Hickory, pushing its way down to the southeast at about 25 to 30 miles per hour. So that means areas like Maiden, Claremont, you're going to get nipped by this. Isn't going to last too long, and then just some light to moderate rain is going to be behind it. Current temperatures right now, 77 degrees around Charlotte, 76 in Salisbury, 74 for you in Statesville. But our Muggy meter keep things around 70, so that is enough storm fuel that's going to be cooking things throughout the day. I think by the end of the afternoon, that's where we have our biggest storm threat. 89 feeling like 96. Yesterday we were in the mid to the upper 80s. Today we're in the upper 80s to the lower 90s. So our weather aware window 3 to 8. Flash flooding is a possibility yet again, but I think the stronger winds are going to be a better possibility. So here's that decaying system. It's out of here by about the hours of noon to 1, but then here comes another second hurrah. So yesterday storms were a little bit further north. This time I think they're more concentrated from the Charlotte area down towards the southwest. I think the window of opportunity again 3 to 8 where we're expecting some of the strongest storms. But this is not the only severe weather potential that we're seeing this week. I'll let you know the next best chance coming up here shortly.
All right, that sounds like a good plan. Thank you, Chris. People in Rock Hill are now concerned that Charlotte's desire for more water could have a negative impact for them. Last night, dozens came out to hear Charlotte Water's plan to nearly double the amount of water it takes from the Catawba River on a daily basis. But residents we spoke to worry about the long-term impact.
We have to really look at, what is going to be the impact of all the people in the industry downstream of Lake White.
We're probably going to be on opposite ends of the scale with this, but as far as the support.
It's not clear yet when a decision could be made. And as we speak, North Carolina is working with hospitals to relieve billions of dollars in medical debt for millions of people. WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards breaks down where all this money's coming from.
Millions of North Carolinians could soon see their medical debt erased due to a new program getting the green light from the federal government. It comes from Governor Roy Cooper and the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services and would help relieve millions who have existing medical debt and help prevent more from being accumulated. Hospitals opt in by adopting certain debt relief policies and are incentivized to participate through the state's Medicaid program. The Department of Health and Human Services says the program has the potential to relieve $4 billion in medical debt.
Well, North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper will not be a vice presidential candidate this November. Last night, Cooper announced he was removing himself from consideration as Kamala Harris's running mate. A source telling AP News that Cooper withdrew over concerns that Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson would take over when he traveled to campaign. There are also rumors that Cooper wants to run for U.S. Senate in 2 years. In his post, the governor said it's not the right time to be on a national ticket. His name had been on the VP shortlist, along with others, including Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro and Arizona Senator Mark Kelly. Right now, parking on city streets in Charlotte is free after 6 p.m., but it's about to get more expensive. The Charlotte Department of Transportation saying today, from Monday to Saturday, you'll have to pay to park until 10 p.m. It's part of their strategic parking plan, adding they aim to improve parking turnover and manage long-term parking needs. The new signs start to go up August 1st, and fines begin in September. Federal courts are once again ruling in favor of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg School District. The Court of Appeals rejected a suit from a former student at Myers Park High School. The student, identified in documents as Jane Doe, was 15 years old when she claimed she was raped near campus in 2015. A jury ruled school administrators did not act with deliberate indifference, and there was no Title IX violation. Less than 2 hours ago, Chesterfield County students heading back to the classroom. According to South Carolina law, the first day of school should be no earlier than August 19th. However, districts can get around that by using what's known as a year-round modified school calendar, which gives them more flexibility in their schedule. Believe it or not, back to school season is here. A reminder this morning for parents of CMS students. If your kid plans to ride the bus this year, you need to register for transportation by 6 p.m. Thursday, August 1st. That's in 2 days. As of this morning, the district says 75,000 students have registered so far. That's up 6,000 from this time last year. You can find a link to register on the CMS website by clicking the buses link on the homepage. In recent years, many of us probably opted for reusable water bottles to help cut down on waste. But could your favorite bottle also make you sick? WCNC Charlotte's Megan Bragg went looking for answers in today's Verify.
Well, say hello to the water bottle I use every day. I'm sure you have one too, but when was the last time you washed it? Now, I want you to be honest, because after you watch this story, you might want to rethink how often you do. Our sources for this story, Dr. Marianne Semingo with the Cleveland Clinic, family physician Dr. Carla Robinson, and Baylor College of Medicine. With the growing popularity of reusable water bottles, there is a danger you can't really see.
Everything that touches that water bottle can transmit bacteria.
The bacteria is mostly from you. According to Baylor College of Medicine, bacteria in your mouth can get into your water bottle. That includes food particles that can create a perfect environment for mold.
These germs, particularly like mold, which is a type of fungus, they really thrive in very moist environments, dark environments. So, if you think about it, that really perfectly describes a water bottle with a lid.
Dr. Semungo says you can't see germs that may be growing, and they could potentially cause you to experience symptoms similar to food poisoning. Those with allergies could also have a flare-up if mold starts growing in the water bottle. So how often should you clean it?
Your water bottle is one of the most important things that you could clean daily.
To avoid buildup of germs and mold, Dr. Semungo says you should make sure you clean every component on the bottle.
We're lifting up straws, we're twisting off caps. All of those areas, if they're not removed and washed at the same time, can really harbor bacteria and mold that grows underneath them.
So we can verify that, yes, reusable water bottles can make you sick if you do not wash them. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
And if you have something you would like verified, let us know. You can email us at verify@wcnc.com. Let's check in with meteorologist Chris Mulcahy. Water of a different kind. So humid outside, Chris.
Yeah, we have water in all sorts today, Jane. We're talking about very humid, very tiny particles type water, but then also some big old raindrops could be coming down, and it already looks like a stormy sky if you look off in the distance here in Concord. High temperatures at 92 in Lancaster, 91 around the Charlotte area, and then 89 expected around Hickory. So here's what's going on today. We already see storms off towards the north and west. So this is a decaying system. This was a system that actually brought some pretty decent severe storms northwest of us. Now it's moving southeast at 25 to 30 miles per hour. So it's likely going to continue to weaken as it works its way a little bit close to the Charlotte area. So that's why I think the rain that we just saw in Concord and Connolly Springs that soon is going to be in to Lincoln County and right around Maiden, that is going to be much heavier than what we're expecting in the Charlotte area from that round one. Keywords round one. Round two is going to be a little bit more centralized right here in this area of orange. By the way, the entire area got upgraded to at least a low threat for strong storms. And the main threat, just like yesterday, is going to be some of those gustier winds and also some of those window rattlers. Some of the thunder and that lightning is going to be strong once again. I think our window of opportunity is really anytime between about 3 and 8 o'clock. Notice how storms really starting to thrive anywhere between about 3 and 4, starting to work its way into the Charlotte area really from that 3 to 6 time frame. Notice how it forms a line too. So that's representing that the leading edge of that could provide some of those gustier winds. A lot of frequent lightning with this as well because it is so humid and so much moisture is fueling off this. And then by about 8 o'clock, most of it is clear, at least for the Charlotte area. And then you see another system, just like what we're dealing with right now, start to work its way back into the western side of the Carolinas. Where in this type of pattern, it's a lot of the overnight systems to the northwest will also interrupt us in the morning. So if you go into the night's game, it's actually a continuation of a game they played in June 30th. It's in the 9th inning, and then it moves on to the actual game that's scheduled for today. Just letting you know, that one could be delayed because of thunder and lightning in the area. Lows overnight tonight, 71, 70 tonight, 74 on Friday and Saturday morning. So we're starting to feel steamy again, and we're heading towards weather aware status for heat this time, not for storms. We're looking at the lower to the mid 90s again tomorrow, but our peak heat indices starting tomorrow is going to be anywhere from about 103 to 107. I think it's going to be likely a little bit more on the lower end for your Wednesday. It's just so humid with this, and it's going to be definitely controlling our forecast. And our storm impacts, as I mentioned, we have a low chance for severe storms today, general chance for thunderstorms tomorrow, but then we have another low chance for severe storms again on Thursday because we have these troughs that are moving through the area, and how hot and humid it is, it's going to lead to a better storm threat. So it's a colorful Guy Roofing 7-day forecast, weather aware for 4 straight days. Anytime it's going to feel like 103 plus, we're going to go weather aware for you because that's where heat exhaustion becomes likely, not just a possibility. Back to around 90 degrees to end the weekend heading into next week. Each day pretty much has a chance for a pop-up shower or thunderstorm.
All right, thanks for that heads up, Chris. And you can stay weather aware with the changes on our free WCNC Charlotte app. It has an hour by hour and a 10-day forecast that's updated by our weather impact team to help you plan your week while you're beating the heat. Scan the QR code on your screen or download our app now. In less than 2 hours, U.S. women's 3-on-3 basketball team will take the court. 2 athletes with Carolina connections you should look out for are Darica Hamby, graduating from Wake Forest University and currently a forward for the Los Angeles Sparks, and Butler High School grad and 2-time North Carolina Player of the Year, Sierra Burdick. WCNC Charlotte sports anchor Nick Carboni caught up with Burdick ahead of her trip to Paris. This is what she had to say.
When I go to Paris and when I'm at opening ceremonies and hopefully when I'm putting a gold around my neck, people can see that it's not just me up there, but that it's everyone who helped me get here. My family, my friends, my teammates, my trainers, my coaches, my teachers. They've had a huge part in this every step of the way.
And you can watch WCNC Charlotte's full interview with Burdick by scanning the QR code on your screen. She and the rest of the squad will take the court against Germany this morning at 11:30. Meanwhile, you have to wait a little longer to see 2 Queen's University graduates compete in one major Olympic event. Triathletes Seth Ryder for Team USA and Felix Dosham for Team Romania will compete tomorrow, as officials are delaying the start of the men's triathlon due to concerns over water quality in the River Seine. This comes after calling off swimming practice in the river again yesterday for the 2nd straight day. Swimming in the Seine has been banned for over a century, in part because of the poor quality of water. And if the river doesn't get cleared for swimming, then triathlon athletes will only compete in biking and running. All right, here is a look at the latest medal count as we head into day 4. Team USA tops the rankings with 20 overall medals so far. Host country France is second with 16, and China rounds out the top 3 with 13 medals. While it might be the most recognized, a medal isn't the only souvenir that athletes who place get to take home. WCNC's Ben Thompson connecting the dots.
You may have noticed athletes being handed a cardboard box alongside their medal. But what's inside? Let's connect the dots. According to officials, one of the main parts of the gift is an official poster for the games. It's exclusive to athletes who win a medal, whether it's bronze, silver, or gold. The artist behind the poster says the piece took him 4 months and about 2,000 hours to create. The poster's packed with intricate details like the Paris Olympic mascot and several French monuments. In addition to that poster, athletes also get a plushie of this year's Olympic mascot. The toy will have a medal on its belly corresponding to whichever medal the athlete won. And that is Connecting the Dots.
You'd be able to give the plushie to your boy.
Yeah, he would love that.
Toy. It's so adorable.
I'm still not really familiar with what the mascot is.
I don't know what that is.
Is it a bell?
Like, a what?
Is it a bell? Kind of look like a bell.
Oh, maybe so.
Maybe it's a bell.
I like the piece of Eiffel Tower in the middle.
I came ill-prepared with information about the mascot of that.
I don't know the mascot either.
Have you been able to watch any of the Olympics?
I did. I watched primetime events in the week in the evening. I've watched it over the weekend. I watched a little bit of girls rugby and soccer, all of it.
I've never watched rugby before, and I was watching USA women's rugby defeat France yesterday, and it was one of the greatest things. Oh,
yeah, that was great.
It's very distracting working here at NBC, by the way, with all the Olympics going on.
I know, all day. It's pretty fun. A reminder that while the Olympics will be on WCNC today, we still have your news headlines covered. So we'll be streaming live again at 2:30. You can also find more news on our website, WCNC.com, or inside our WCNC mobile app. See you here at 2:30. Have a great day.
Right now, a popular Charlotte bakery is unexpectedly having to cook up some creativity to keep business going.
And that is because the owner of the Batch House says the end of COVID had a surprising impact and a twist, you might say. WCNC Charlotte's Michelle Bowden shows us how it's left her asking, where's the money?
The batch maker regularly had lines out the door here at the Batch House, but not anymore. So they're getting creative, trying to reach more customers.
I used to also have an easy bake oven.
Christina Rojas, aka the batch maker, got her start early.
I just used to buy box brownie mixes and just like add an extra egg. And I just love food so much that I would spend all my allowance money on like more food and more experiments.
Now she's making money thanks to her love of food.
So I had no idea what I was in store for. I did a couple of all-nighters where I would sleep at the bakery.
The Batch House first opened in late 2019 with crowds clamoring to get a taste of the goodies in the case.
The crowds were crazy. The first line was like wrapped around the building and we weren't prepared. We sold out the first like 3 months consistently.
Sonia Sampson is a regular and has been here when the lines were crazy.
Thank you.
Everything is super unique and fresh, and I feel like every time I come in here is something different that I get to try.
COVID hit, business still boomed, but then a flood also hit, shutting the bakery down. The new Batch House finally reopened in October 2021.
Hello, everybody!
The line was down the block so much that all the neighbors were like, is there like a walkathon? Like, what's going on?
Now, though, the batch maker's trying to figure out what's going on as business slows considerably.
We just don't have a lot of walk-in, traffic. So we have to push more on social media, like be more active there. Like if I notice that if I post something like a video or something of me making like a new creation, people will walk in. But before, people would just come.
She thinks changing post-pandemic habits are partially to blame.
A lot more people are traveling. A lot more people are going out to restaurants just because COVID kind of put a pause on everything. With COVID, people would make this their outing and then they would pick up a box. Now people are more than that. They're just like going out to restaurants, trying new restaurants, which is great. But a lot of celebrations at home have been paused.
So the baker, known for her creative creations, is getting creative in business too.
Appreciate it. We started DoorDash a couple of weeks ago. A big thing that people were saying like, oh, I wish I was closer. And then we also partnered with Goodie Bag. We'll sell our previous day goodies on there.
After everything the beloved baker has battled, she's hoping mixing it up yet again will be the recipe for prolonged success.
We're hoping with all these efforts, it'll encourage people to start coming in more.
So just in case you're wondering, what is the best-selling item in this case? It is the Oreo truffle cookie. Reporting in Charlotte, Michelle Bowden, WCNC Charlotte.
Seems like everything in there tastes pretty good. Well, the batch maker just switched up its hours. It's currently now open later on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, but closed Sunday.
Time now to connect the dots. When we make the news make sense, not only are couples waiting longer to have kids, they're also having fewer of them. Right now, the country is experiencing record low rates of childbirth. Let's connect the dots. The biggest reason behind the decline, it's so expensive. Childcare for a single child has quadrupled since 1995. Because of that, a Pew study finds only about half of all adults under the age of 34 said they would likely have kids. In 2022, surveys show people want close to 3 kids on average. However, the actual rate of childbirth is 1.8 children per woman. Millennials and Gen Z are having fewer children than older generations, with nearly 10% saying they don't want kids. Others said political affairs and saving for a house as reasons to wait. And that is connecting the dots.
WCNC Charlotte is making a difference with your help. When you share your news tips, we go to work.
I sent you that email. 15 minutes later, you're responding to me.
When a Charlotte woman battling cancer lost her health coverage, we demanded answers.
Within hours of WCNC Charlotte asking questions, the agency responsible quickly corrected its mistake.
Let us get to work for you.
Reach out to news tips at WCNC.com. WCNC Charlotte, news that impacts you.
Time now to connect the dots. When we make the news make sense. When folks think about natural disasters, they often think about things happening along the coastline, but experts say that's not always the case. New data shows inland counties are topping the disaster list. Let's connect the dots. Rural inland counties often cannot afford disaster repairs, so a governor asked the president to declare a disaster, freeing up federal funds. 8 counties with the most federally declared disasters are in Kentucky and Vermont. And in the eastern part of the country, areas not only getting more rain, but more flooding. The problem is there's nowhere for the rain to go. Mountainous areas force water to flood narrow valley floors. Good news for Mecklenburg County, it is the largest county in the nation that has not had a federally declared disaster since 2011. And that is connecting the dots.
Well, new at 5:30, Charlotte is making some strides in helping people move up in life. 10 years ago, the Queen City ranked dead last for economic mobility. But now there's a new report out today ranking the city 38th out of the country's 50 largest cities.
WCNC Charlotte's Ben Thompson shows us how the city has been working to improve upon past failures.
Charlotte prides itself for ranking near the top of all the most sought after lists. Best place to live, one of the fastest growing cities, best place for young professionals. But that's not been the reality for folks like Vivian Howard.
Cost of living in Charlotte is insane.
She grew up in public housing at Southside Homes. Her mom working multiple jobs.
We lived here for 15 years, like we just got out.
10 years ago, one study disrupted our city's sterling reputation. Harvard's Land of Opportunity study, also known as the Chetty study, named for pioneering economist Raj Chetty. It ranks Charlotte worst in the country for economic mobility. Simply put, folks here get trapped in poverty and can't get out. Somebody born here at Southside Homes should be able to work really hard and one day buy a place across the street in South End. But for too many people here in Charlotte, that's a lot harder than it looks.
My family, just like many others, have come to Charlotte in hopes of buying a home, having great careers, raising children. And I want those same opportunities to be true for local Charlotteans who were born here.
Sherry Chisholm is the director of Leading on Opportunity, an organization created in response to the Chetty study. Its council, a who's who of Charlotte's business, political, and community leaders. Using public-private partnerships, the group's trying to level the playing field by addressing things like early child care and education, family stability, and college and career readiness.
The policies that we're putting in place, they're not policies for us right now. It's for the children and our grandchildren.
The study led to big reforms, including the Mayor's Racial Equity Initiative, the city's 2040 plan, and investments into Johnson C. Smith. Vivian calls herself a poster child for what can be. She's currently enrolled at Winston-Salem State University, and she's interning at Red Ventures.
I feel like I have a bright future. I have the drive for it.
Proof that Charlotte and some of its most vulnerable neighbors are making progress. Ben Thompson, WCNC Charlotte.
Download the WCNC Charlotte News app today for your WCNC weather impact forecast, breaking news alerts, and 24-hour streaming content. Download today.
And we start with this right now. Jails in our area, they are trying to figure out how drugs are getting in and killing inmates. Just this week, 2 inmates overdosed and died while behind bars in the Richland County Jail. And we're told one of them died from fentanyl, the other a similar drug.
And now this jail, not the only one seeing this issue. Here in Mecklenburg County, the Sheriff's Department is also investigating how fentanyl is getting behind bars. And you might be surprised at what they found.
WCNC Charlotte's Austin Walker spoke one-on-one with Sheriff Gary McFadden, who is seeking solutions to keep the drugs out. Austin.
Yeah, Colin, Vanessa, this is a standard greeting card filled with personal messages, but in some cases, it's filled with something that's killing people. Behind a lock and key,
very strict.
The Mecklenburg County Jail must be secure.
Here at the Sheriff's Office, we're taking it very seriously.
With Sheriff Gary McFadden at the helm.
So you always have to stay a step ahead.
He mostly knows what comes in and what goes out. Even something as simple as mail.
Material inside, of course, pornographic, gang material.
Expectations of what can't be sent.
Staples, paper clips.
And one that shouldn't have to be said at all.
Fentanyl.
But it's just one of the things making it in and killing inmates. July 6, 2022, according to autopsy records and attorneys, Russell Fincham dying from fentanyl inside the Mecklenburg County Jail, one of at least 10 people who have died inside the jail from fentanyl in the last 7 years.
People are very tricky.
McFadden says the way it's coming through is difficult to see.
Take the greeting card and actually soak it in whatever fentanyl solution that they have. And they soak it, and then they dry it out.
The card is then signed, sealed, sent, and later received.
It's actually go inside, tear up the very thick card like this, put it inside of hot water or coffee, and just like a tea bag, whatever is contained in that paper wicks out into the drink.
And if a few people share the same cup, it's even worse. Using an Alka-Seltzer as an example.
When you put the Alka-Seltzer in, it fizzes in the water and you drink it. But when you put that glass down, you see some residue of that Alka-Seltzer in there. So imagine doing that 4 and 5 times, and then the last person who may get that last dose is actually residue from 5 different doses, and that person dies.
In an effort to get a handle on this, the jail made a change.
If you write somebody in Mecklenburg County a letter, that will now go to P.O. Box 247, Phoenix, Maryland. They scan that letter in,